Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Grossbullen and welcome to the JesseAF show. Today is Thursday, April 11th, 2019, episode 60 of my daily podcast. Yeah, that's right, daily. That means every single day I'll be posting a new episode, so please check in tomorrow for my next episode. I'm on Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, so if you have any of those platforms, please consider subscribing. That way you get notifications for whenever I post a new episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about growing up. And just yesterday, I was looking at my Facebook wall, and I got a little notification from Facebook. Well, it wasn't really a notification, but it kind of was. It was basically a post from 6 years ago where I basically said, I will start working on maturing, getting more grammar under my belt, and something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it doesn't matter. The point is, 6 years ago I said this, and I posted this. I reposted this. I was like, mission accomplished. Because I definitely have matured a lot. Growing up and living a lot of my life being silly all the time, sure, that's normal. Being a kid, throwing punches when you're not supposed to be throwing punches, all that kind of kid stuff. And, just doing stupid stuff, and that's kind of kid stuff, right? But now that I look at all that stuff, it's like I have a lot better maturity now, and I've really grown up a lot. And kind of this podcast is all about my understanding of how I matured and how I grew up, and that understanding of growing up and becoming more self-aware of the fact that I grew up. And it's so crazy to think about it. Like, I don't know. I graduated in 2014 from Kingston High School. So, just then, I was a kid, but now I'm an adult. I mean, it's only 2019 right now. And it's like, how do you grow up that fast? That kind of thing. And it's like, did I really just take that much time to grow up? No, I grew up through high school, yeah, of course. And I learned a lot about myself through high school. I was exploring different things. I was getting into different groups of people. I was messing around all the time. I was hanging out with the goth kids, and then the art kids, and then the band kids, and I don't know. I've experienced a lot, and that's taught me a lot of different things. That was my keys. I should have put them somewhere else. Whatever. But I've been focusing so much on getting more grown up. But I've been kind of grown up my whole life, hanging out with older people my whole life, and really like talking to older people all the time. That teaches you something at a very young age. It teaches you to be more mature growing up. So as a kid, I've always been more mature than everyone my age. But as I got into high school, my maturity level kind of dropped because I just didn't care. I wanted to be less mature, and I don't know why. Maybe, well, I kind of do actually know why, and that basically goes into the whole idea of I wanted to relax. I wanted to let go of the maturity. I wanted to feel free. I wanted to be open. I wanted to try different things. And the only way to do that was by giving up maturity. And yeah, it kind of sounds a little dumb to give up maturity. I've I sure did make a couple mistakes going through high school. Well, more than a couple, but you know what I mean. But growing up is tough, and it really does take a lot of time, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. Because growing up is not just something you do overnight. It's not like, okay, you're out of high school, you graduated high school, on to college, or whatever else you're doing in your life, and now you're a grown-up. No, it doesn't happen like that. And doing school bus driving has made me feel even more grown up, and that responsibility level really does teach you how to be more grown up. I mean, I am in charge of these kids. I'm the adult on the bus. And sure, most of the school bus drivers I work with are 40 and older. So they've either had kids or they've been doing this so long that they just are used to it. And going into school bus driving was very, very difficult for me with dealing with the kids, because I was at a level where I was not comfortable with disciplining these kids with referrals or yelling at them if they were jumping around on the bus, and that was a really big issue for me. Like, I just did not feel comfortable with yelling at other people's kids, and it was like, well, that's not my job, but it is my job. And as I got on, as I learned the kids' names, as I got to know my kids in general, I got more comfortable with it, and I got more comfortable with controlling the situation on the bus and controlling the kids on the bus, making sure that they were not bouncing off the walls all the time, because bouncing off the walls on the bus while I'm driving down Broadway in Kingston is not exactly the safest thing in the world, because I have to watch for people that are crossing the road at any time, because, passing in front of the high school, I know that the high school kids are always crossing between cars in traffic, so I have to watch between the cars. And when I have a kid jumping around in the back seat of the bus, or in the back seats of the bus, that takes my attention off the road, and it kind of splits my attention. And if you ever thought about being able to do two things at once, multitasking, that's completely impossible to do. You cannot 100% focus on two different things at once. And it's more of like a 70-20 kind of thing, or 70-30 kind of thing. I told you I'm not good at math. So you have to really think about the different things that you're doing, and you have to be like, what am I doing with my time on the bus, and how do I really control the kids? And that's where maturity comes in. I mean, I've grown up so much just by watching and working with the kids that now I am a lot more prepared for dealing with kids in the future. If I have kids in the future, if anything, I mean, it's really interesting going from being a kid right into school bus driving and kind of being forced into growing up even more. Sure, I've always been grown up, but it really gave me a sense of that I am not exactly a grown-up, but I'm almost there, kind of thing. Like, in my mindset, I believe that when you're in your 30s, or you're getting close to 30 at least, that you're pretty much grown up, and that changes over time. Like, when I'm 30, I'm probably going to be like, oh man, it's going to be like 35, 40, and the truth is, you really never grow up. I mean, there's so many people that I know that are in their 40s, 50s that are still kids. I mean, they're still kids at heart. They still fool around. They still mess around, whatever it is. or they just don't go to work and they're like, you're responsible. And that's a kid thing to do, right? But that's also an adult thing to do. So growing up is kind of this imaginary thing. And I've realized that. But growing up is all about the experiences you have and the type of mindset you have going into those experiences. It's like, do I want to be responsible? Do I want to get to every single bus stop at the right time? Do I want to be late every single day? What have you? And I see school buses that I cross with on my route, and sometimes I don't even see the other school bus. It's like, man, their schedule is so far off compared to mine. Like, I try to get to every single stop, same time, every single day, and I don't even see the school bus the other day. Or today, I didn't see them. Yesterday, I saw the kids. I didn't see the kids today, so it was like, man, that other school bus is so far off their schedule. Like, how can you be a school bus driver and pick up your kids at such crazy times? You know, like, the differences in times is just nuts. And you just have to think about it. And it's like, you know, what's going on? I hope I record. Yeah, I'm recording. Sorry, my watch was like, it wasn't showing my camera, so I was like kind of scared. Did I actually hit record? I hope I did. Doesn't matter. The point is that you have to really focus on just being you and getting better at what you do and kind of perfecting your ideals, because life is always about that. And that's kind of the sense of growing up. Growing up is learning how to do things better. That's just it. Growing up is learning how to do things better. And I have been learning how to do things better my whole life. And I will do that in the future, and I will keep doing that until I am dead. Yeah, dead. Morbid, but dead. Death is common, it's normal, whatever. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's episode. I know I did, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day.